is your Monday supporter file. If you're a Patreon monthly supporter, you have access to this file. It will be uploaded on craftingwithapril.co on the monthly supporter tab. And if you're not a supporter, please consider going over to Patreon and supporting and getting access to the files that I keep exclusive for people who support the channel and the group. So let's pop on over to the monitor. This is your file. Now, this piece right here, it's very important if you're cutting from double-sided paper to know that this is the inside of your card and this is the outside of your card. So if it matters to you which side is showing the most, you will need to cut these two separately. I am cutting them out of a solid cardstock, so it doesn't matter. I did put my textured side down to the mat because I want the outside of my card to show that texture. This piece will mainly be hidden except when the mechanism is pulled out. So to me, it doesn't really matter about the texture on that one. These two lighter red pieces, or medium red, I should say. No, these are the lighter. The lighter red pieces, these are going to show on when the card is completely opened. This piece you can cut just from the same cardstock as your base. Doesn't matter which way you cut it. These two dark red pieces right here will be the lower half of this. I'm going to take those scores off because they're in the way. We don't really need them. I did them for a trial and forgot to take those out. So let me take those out right now. I'm doing the wrong one there. Well, let me get back over here. See, even I make boo-boos. Okay, so everything is back. This piece I want to detach. And I'm going to get rid of those. Don't need those. So this piece, only a portion of this is going to show. When this card is put together, let me bring this to the front so that you can see. It's going to be something like right about here, and it's iffy. So, I mean, I picked a pattern and I got lucky and mine's going to work. Mine has words on it, so make sure that that piece is being cut the way that it needs to be cut, just like it sits. And you'll see more when I go to put this together. But only a portion of this is going to be seen, just at the lower piece right here. This is going to be on the top of the card, and this is going to be on top of that, and then this bow on top of that. So with that being said, depends on how you want to cut your bow here. I used just a black extra fine pen for my writing on this piece. For this piece, I did go in and change the pen here in the layers panel to deboss. Okay, so I did deboss mine on a piece of foil craft board. So it depends on what you want to do and how you want to set yours up. You can leave it on pen or you can leave it on deboss. So let's pop over to the overhead, and I'm going to grab a couple of things while we go over there. Let's see. There we are. So I'm going to grab some foam dots. Now you can use wet glue or you can use double-sided tearing tape, and it's going to depend on you. You are going to have, if you use wet glue, you're going to have to be extremely careful. But you can do it. It's not that difficult. Here is your mechanism piece, and you are going to fold on those two scores, just like so. And you're going to want to try to break that cardstock down just by rolling it. I'm using my bone folder. You can use whatever you have to help kind of curl this just to give it some, we just want it to relax a little bit. All right, so that piece is going to look like so. This piece, this is your outside piece, and you can see your scores. You're going to fold in half here. We're going to open it up, and we're going to fold those tabs in. Okay, and then we're going to bring this piece in, and this is the piece where I said that you're going to have to flip it. We're going to fold that in a mountain fold and then flip it over, just like this, okay? So that you can see those two little score lines that are on that paper. Okay, that is the purpose for that. You can see one right there and one right there. So now if you want to change those to pen, you can, but they will be seen, or you could do a pencil and then erase it. So totally up to you. And then we have our little pieces here. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this over like it's supposed to be. And this piece is going to go to the top right here. And I'm using some double-sided paper that I had. I believe, I'm not going to swear to it, but I believe it was Stampin' Up! A couple of years ago. And that's what I'm using. And you're just going to center up that panel right there. Now, I'm not going to put this piece on yet because I don't want to mess it up. Now we're going to grab this piece. Now this piece has a score on it too, and there's a reason for that. This piece is going to go on top of there, but you're not going to center it vertically. You are going to center it horizontally. And so that score is to help you line this piece up and nothing more. Okay, so just going to line that up. And I don't have mine on straight. It doesn't want to turn loose. Come here. All right, so just so you know, that score is just to help line up this piece. That's it. And then this piece is going to be glued to the inside of this piece. So we're just going to open that up, center this in. Like so. And then this piece is going to go right here to the inside. Just like that. Okay. All right. Now you want to take this piece. We're going to hold this piece to the side for a second. And you're going to put glue on this tab right here only. Just on that tab. You're going to bring that tab in right between those score lines and flush with that edge. Okay. Right between the score lines and flush with the edge. So it should look just like that. All right, you're going to give that a second to dry. And while that dries, we're going to go ahead and stack these two pieces. Make sure that we've got them going the right direction. And I'm just going to dab some glue on the tips. Make sure that it doesn't lift up on us once the card is together. I love this holly. I use it almost every year for something. I've used it for several years now. Don't want to drop it. And we're going to line those up. Those are all nice and lined up. All right, this should be dry enough. Again, you want to make sure that that is on just like this. Okay, looks kind of funky. And now you'll notice you've got a score line in here. Okay, this piece is going to glue right onto, trying to get it where that you can see that score line. That is going to glue right there. Okay, and you want to be careful. You just want glue on this. If you think you're too messy with your gluing or that you can't get it, use a double-sided tape. And you're going to place that right on that score line and get it even right in the center. You want that to go edge to edge of that score. Okay, and you don't want to glue anything down. So if your glue is squishing like mine, go in there and get that out. Let it dry for a second. And it should be looking something like this. All right. And now we're going to just fold this up. It's going to fold in just like this. Okay. And you're going to bring these two tabs over. Now this is where this piece comes in. Now you can do this after or you can do it now. Totally up to you. And I think it's going to be easier to do it after. But we'll see. Just going to line that up right down to the edge of my card where I want it. And once I have it, I'm just going to leave that all pinched. Okay. And then I'm just going to put glue right here on that little corner and this little corner. You don't want a whole lot of glue. You don't want to glue the inside of your card together like I'm about to do. And we're going to fold that over. Just fold that over. And we're just going to fold that one over. And you might be able to do this easier for yourself going afterwards. And yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure mine was straight. So you'll have a little bit better chance of getting it straight. And I will tell you how to do it after. I've already glued mine in, so I can't really do it now. So after you've done that, again, you can wait on this piece. And if you're waiting on this piece, you're just going to put the glue on this tab like I'm doing, or tape. It's very important that your glue doesn't squish out into the centers here. And you don't want to get this too tight either. So just kind of fold that over and give it a little bit of a rub. And then I'm going to pull this out and our card pops open. So you can see, now I didn't glue mine on purpose, but you can, this is where once these two sides dry, you will want to put this glue onto this bottom tab here or this paper and slide it up in there. I don't feel comfortable doing mine that way. That's why I did it this way. So I'm just going to put my glue on there and glue that panel down. All I'm gluing is this one little panel right here. So like I said, once it's dried, you can put glue right on this tab, and all you're really doing is covering where this seam meets so that your card won't get hung up. Okay, super easy and simple, and that way your card mechanism is going to work properly. I suggest, if you think you can do it the way that I did, I found that easier. I've done it both ways, and I find this easier for me. A lot of people like to hold this piece to very last, put glue on it, and slide it up in there, covering those two tabs so that the card mechanism doesn't hang up when it goes back in. But it's totally up to you how you want to do yours, okay? And then we're going to finish gluing this. Let's make sure I get this going the right way. This piece always confuses me. There we go. So that's the right way. Just going to put some glue. On my leaves here. And then we're going to line that up. I'm using art glitter glue. It does dry matte and clear. So my little squish outs on this piece doesn't hurt anything. On this, it does matter. If you don't think that you can glue that without your glue squishing to the center of the card, I suggest you use tape. Very, very, very important. And I'm just going to use a couple of foam dots here. Should have got my bigger ones out, but that's okay. Just going to pop dot that up just a little bit. Get those release liners off. And I think I want mine to go. I want it to go. Decisions, right? I think I'm going to go just like this. And my reds and my greens are Cricut cardstock. And then, of course, you can use any pattern paper that you want to use. And then I am going to also dot that up. But I want... these are a little bit thicker. I want this to come up a little bit higher. And you can put this on a gift, or this is an A2, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. Yep, by 4 1/4. So your A2 envelopes will fit this. 4 1/4, 5 1/2, finished dimension. And I am going to place my bow to go at an angle. How stinking cute is this? Love this. This was inspired by Pinterest. It's been done by several Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. But I just made us a Designspace file of it. So I think I want a couple. Well, I pulled the glue off of that one, didn't I? You want a couple of sequins scattered about. Totally optional. Totally optional. That's cute. I'll put one more up there. And none in the lower corner. Maybe, yeah. Love, how stinking cute. And you can put a gift card up here if you want. And this says, "May your Christmas be wrapped in happiness and tied with love." That's why I did the bow. Love it. And this is what I was talking about if you're using a pattern paper. Mine, you can just barely see it. It says peppermint pavers there, but it is going to get covered. So just something that you like. And of course, you could always add something else to it there if you want, but you just want to be careful that it doesn't interfere with the mechanism. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to place a couple of dots right there. Why not? Oops. There we go. And I think I'm going to go in the center of these with some Nuvo drops. These are the clear. This is Morning Dew, just to give it some extra little pop and dimension. And this is looking a little bit milky, and I get that, but it is going to dry clear and give that little glossy look. It's going to look kind of like glass. You can use this, you can use glossy accents, you can use liquid glass, whatever it is that you have on hand. And I think maybe just a little. I'm not going to do all of them. I don't think. Maybe. Just a little. Just to give a little bit of extra punch onto that plain cardstock. And I'm going to let this dry. I got the cardstock there. Didn't want to do that. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then I will take my photos and post them up for you guys. Let me see. I am looking for. Try to get that off of there where I made my boo-boo. Okay. Looks like it's going to work. So that will dry clear. Once it's dry, I'll take my photos and get this posted up for you guys. So I hope you enjoy this file. I can't wait to see what you make. And make sure you post it in the groups. Tag me. Let me see it. Have a wonderful day. Happy crafting.